Today, the global economy faces a multi-pronged crisis. Monetary tightening is weighing on growth across much of the world. Low-income developing countries in particular face serious risks from food insecurity and debt distress. These factors are weighing heavily on the outlook for global trade. The picture for 2023 has darkened considerably. We are now predicting a modest forecast of 1% increase in merchandise trade volumes, down from the 3.4% we had expected as recently as April. Policymakers face unenviable choices as they attempt to find an optimal balance among fighting inflation, maintaining employment, and advancing important policy goals such as the transition to cleaner energy. Trade restrictions may be a tempting response to economic distress, but these would only deepen inflationary pressures and reduce living standards and would likely make us more rather than less vulnerable to the crisis we're grappling with. Looking ahead, a better response to the supply chain vulnerabilities exposed by the past 2 years is to build a more diversified, less concentrated base for producing goods and services. Just as trade was a tool that helped us to cope with the pandemic, we believe it can also help us meet current and future challenges.
Now, on trade volumes, the first thing I would draw your attention to is the volatility in the quarterly data in the second quarter. For example, seasonally adjusted merchandise export volume was up 3.5% in North America in Q2. Another notable feature of the data is the weakness of Asia. This stagnation was due in large part to production and shipping disruptions as a result of COVID-19 outbreaks in China. And finally, a word or two on services. On a positive note, travel and transport have been strong due to a recovery of international tourism and also rising prices. Finally, shipping rates have fallen sharply, with the Freightos Baltic Index dropping to 4,000 on 30 September, down from 11,000 on 10 September last year. It could be taken as yet another sign that global demand is cooling.
Obviously, the outlook for the global economy has darkened, and all the risks are on the downside. And so this is causing a lot of worry. And if you sort of load over this, the geopolitical tensions that we're seeing, some of it arising from the war in Ukraine, then you can see the mood. There's a lot of worry because of uncertainty. But at the same time, I think that the good mood that prevailed after MC12 gives us some basis. In spite of the difficulties facing the world economy, we could still do some of the work ahead of us. I mean, MC12 was good. We got some success, but that doesn't mean our work is finished. We need to work hard to be part of the solution to the global problems we're seeing now. How can we meet the near-term goals in energy and food without necessarily too much undermining the longer-term goals of looking for climate-friendly solutions? Now, trade can play an important role. Trade is also instrumental, even in climate change. You know, making technologies and adaptation source materials and goods move from one place to the other cannot be done unless you have trade. Free flow of trade is essential to help the world adapt to both climate change, to food shocks, to energy shocks. Trade is a facilitator